Yo, when monkeys do that shit, the gorillas, I love that. Damn!
So there's a lot of talk about man versus bear. Would you choose the man? Would you choose the bear? How about we talk about that time women chose gorillas?
Retro acting like he wouldn't hit Tatsuya
Shibani is a
with the frame 1
27-year-old living in a
pregnancy
Miyata.
if he was in the bedroom with her.
You said retro acting like he wouldn't hit Tatsumaki with the frame 1 pregnancy if he wasn't in the bedroom with her. I mean, consensually, obviously, like, hey, if you want to get with it, I don't know, bruh. I mean, anyway, she mad tiny. How old is she? I don't even know this shit because I feel like I briefly got into season 2 of One Punch Man, and then I think her character got slightly introduced when there was like this thing happening, but I didn't get like the full lore on her. Oh my goodness, she's almost 30? Oh, I'm tearing that shit up. I'm throwing you in the air and I'm hitting you with that clap 5000. Hitting you with the kerbloinky kersploinky, the back shots of doom, straight up fucking. Bro. All right, let's go.
Shiyama Zoo in Nagoya, Japan, where his face card went viral and caused a direct increase in the number of female visitors. Call him George the way he had these women curious. Last name Clooney, because that's the main guy they compared him to. Oh, and if you couldn't tell, Shibani's also a 400 plus.
You're telling me that, like, in real life, women were attracted to him? You're talking about human women were attracted to this monkey? Are you fucking kidding me?
Pound primate with a perpetual pump. Not only that, he's a loyal husband with 2 wives and children. That's a family man being lusted after. Some of the words used to describe him were punky, heartthrob, metrosexual, spornosexual. I didn't even know what that meant.
Nah, those bitches are weird. I don't care. Any woman that's attracted to this monkey, something is wrong with you. And I know that shit sounds crazy out of context. But bro, it is a gorilla with a family in a cage and women are out here like what?
One article even asked, quote, would you go for a romp in the jungle with Shibani?
Huh?
A sinful liaison, that's harambe. Had women hot and bothered, that's femme flambe. Call him Susan B. Anthony the way he had women showing up to the poll. Just kidding, real ones.
So when a monkey act all horny with y'all, y'all fine with it. But when a human dude does it, it's a problem?
No, gorillas ain't packing anything but a room. But yeah, Shibani's looks transcended the laws of nature, and if I had a nickel for every time a woman's feelings towards a gorilla made headlines, I'd have 2 nickels.
My thing is this too. If a woman was to get in a cage with this gorilla, what do they think is gonna happen? Like, do they think like the gorilla gonna walk up, have a bow tie, have like a conversation? How are you? That motherfucker gonna grab you. He gonna grab you unconsensually. Yo, Gakika. What's your name? Kiraku. Welcome to the stream, bro. That monkey gonna grab you unconsensually and probably do unspeakable things. That monkey gonna go, oh, you gonna be like, my titties. Oh, grab your head, down on all fours, ass up. What you gonna do now? You gonna try to cancel the gorilla on Twitter? That shit ain't gonna work. Welcome to this combo. Bro, it's just, I'm trying to go through the thought process of how can you be sexually attracted to a gorilla and then like fantasize about being with, like, I'm trying to understand.
It's too many more than I should have. One woman was a frequent visitor at the Die Gaardebladorp Zoo in the Netherlands, and her favorite was a silverback named Bakito. Up to 4 times a week, she'd find him, make direct eye contact, and smile. I'm not even gonna explain how much of a gorilla middle finger that is. Keepers tried to warn her, but she didn't listen. Her and Bakito, they had a connection. Oh, they connected alright. One day she smiled again and called him constipated because Bakito was not letting that shit slide. Bakito broke out and would proceed to put the beats on her like Afro music.
He put the beats on her? I mean, you gotta think about it like this. She probably was thinking like, oh, this is romantic. Me and him are making eye contact through the glass and I'm smiling at him. This is romantic. He probably thinking it as, bitch, you got me in here as a trapped slave. You got me in here trapped behind this glass and you just cheesing and smiling at me from the other side while you're free. Once I get out of here, I'm gonna beat your ass. And that's literally what happened.
And he jumped over a water-filled ditch.
He jumped over a water-filled ditch to get her ass?
Do it. Gorillas hate water. Keto was
Gorillas hate water, and he said, "Fuck it, I'm jumping over this water to make sure I give her the beats." That's insane.
because Bakito was not letting that shit slide. Bakito broke out and would proceed to put the beats on her like Afro music, and he jumped over a water-filled ditch to do it. Gorillas hate water. Keto was fed up. He was calmly escorted back home where he lived well for another 16 years until he passed away in April of 2023. His get back on his biggest fan / op was immortalized as
You said she was eye fucking him. He just wanted to throw hands. That's what I'm saying. But then it's like, I could think about it from a gorilla's perspective, being behind the glass. Imagine somebody just coming up to you in front of the fucking glass and hitting you with a... You gonna feel a certain type of way. You gonna be like, what the fuck? Why is this person making strong eye contact with me and just cheesing? It's hands.
as a word of the year. And the woman, who I originally felt bad for, apparently didn't get hit hard enough. So if y'all don't know, my first aspiration in life was to be a zookeeper. I even had a state-of-the-art custom virtual simulator to prepare. Yeah, that dream flatlined pretty quick. For reasons. But this video is going to be about probably what my life would look like as a zookeeper, the weird stories, the dirty secrets, and the random trivia the average person would probably know nothing about. Like, what is the most dangerous animal in the zoo? Like,
It's that guy, a hippo. Don't fuck around with hippos. Baby hippos are super cute, but these giant hippos will destroy you.
actually, the answer just might surprise you. Actually, probably not. Born Free USA has a database where you can look up incidents involving exotic animals in America, and if you search up animal attacks by any species in any state in an AZA accredited zoo, you'll see that the #1 culprit are big cats. Because out of 101 recorded injuries, they caused 46 or 38%. Elephants were second at just over 17%, but if Bakito proved anything, it's that a lot of them had it coming.
You see? That situation, you're fucked. This guy looked like almost an orangutan. If you getting pulled by this motherfucker, now it's GG's, bro. Now you're gonna have to be praying. You're gonna have to probably start hitting the monkey back and praying that he let go. Cause he way bigger. He not like one of them tiny ones.
Probably by primates earned bronze in brutality at 14%. Reptiles like Komodo dragons and bears like pandas got just over 4% each. 9% were marine attacks by animals like orcas, dolphins, and stingrays, and the remaining 13% were just other. Other being something like a kid falling into a rhino enclosure or a woman climbing into a giraffe pen and nearly getting kicked off the
Smiling
set.
is a
Now,
form
take
of
it with a grain of
aggression
salt, 'cause I
for
thought for
apes.
sure zebras would
Bro
be up there, but they
basically
weren't even on the
assumed she
list.
was
And I know
talking
for a
shit.
fact at least a couple should. But these are attacks. I want to know what Zuby's most likely to put a halo on my head. Well, in the same database, if you looked at every time a person got put on a shirt at a zoo, accredited or not, big cats did it over 40% of the time, with elephants at a hair under 30, and surprisingly,
Bro, elephants be killing people like crazy. But then the big cats too, like, I can imagine because cats, giant ass tigers are mad calculated. Like, these fuckers are smart. They will stare at you and learn mad shit about you. And the second you let your guard down, bro, they would get on your ass.
bears barely even scratched at less than 9%. But here's the thing, if you look at non-accredited zoos, the big cat number grows to 47%, with bears and elephants at 16 apiece.
Wow.
And lastly, in accredited zoos, elephants actually took the lead at 47%. Big cats were the
See, that's why I'd be scared of elephants. Sometimes people are like, "Oh, elephants are such nice, majestic creatures." I'm like, I'm not standing close to one, because elephants at any given moment could be like, "Man, I don't fuck with this energy that's around me right now. I'm about to bug out. I'm about to start fucking flailing. Trunk is all over the place. I'm getting uppercutted by his freaking shit. Nah."
suspect 33% of the time, and bears weren't even on the board. So if you're a zookeeper at a zoo that actually has its stuff together, statistically, if there's any animal that erases you, it's gonna be an elephant. And if the zoo's
That dude's head was in the elephant's
big cat
ass.
might be your downfall. But also remember, if it does happen, it'll probably be your fault or your coworkers. Now, if you work at a zoo long enough, eventually some animal's gonna escape, whether it's a minor inconvenience like a bunch of meerkats or a code red dead to rights and murk on site like a chimpanzee. It's gonna happen, and the best reaction
monkey on the, oh my God, on the electrical power lines, GG's, bro. All you're gonna see is a giant spark and then just a ragdoll. Yeah. That's all you're gonna see. Woo, woo, woo. Yeah. Just straight fall, bro, because he about to get popped. He about to get popped. You said crazy photo.
is pro-action, so some zoos do escaped animal drills, but instead of actual animals, yeah. One Japanese zoo will have workers cosplaying as an animal taking a cue from Madagascar.
What? They have a dude in a zebra suit, and then that's how they practice in case an animal gets away. That is literally the worst way.
And breaking out. Thank God, because I'm not even going to tell you what I thought this was. What the hell? But it's a pretty harmless way to remind everyone what to do when an animal gets out. That being said, this would be a tragic time to not be sober at the zoo. But what animal is the most likely to escape? In my non-professional online opinion, there's two. If you want to test how good a spot is at keeping the animal in, you should probably hire the man of the forest or the orangutan. Fu Manchu was an orang that nearly got an entire staff fired because there was a solid week where they would show up to work and the entire orangutan posse would be posted up outside. About a week was how long it took for them to realize that Fu had snagged a wire, hid it in his mouth most of the day, and used it to pick his enclosure lock when no one was looking. And Ken Allen was a hairy Houdini who got out so many times that the zoo had to hire rock climbers to find every possible point of exit because they didn't know how he got out and Ken for sure wasn't about to tell them. And what did he?
These girls are idiots. You're seeing this whole thing like about to get out the cage and you're just staring at it. Oh, I gotta get this shot for Instagram.
Do with all this freedom? Well, when he wasn't
Back
wandering
the
the zoo
fuck
looking at
up.
animals like everyone else, he was pelting rocks at another orang named Otis, because even a 95% vegetarian can make room for beef. The other animal's the red panda. Do your homework on how hard it is to keep this red-faced raccoon in. A quick Google search will tell you that a red panda escape has made the news at least once in 1978, 2005, 2007, 2008, 2009, 2012, 2013, and you know what? Probably more. My favorite was red panda Rusty slipping out the Smithsonian and walking the streets of Washington, D.C. completely unbothered.
What?
So yeah,
A
if your
red
job's keeping
panda?
A Ninja panda or a Cheeto-flavored gorilla in check, you're gonna have a bad time. But some animals are a great time to work with, and it's often not the ones you'd expect. Rhinos are legally blind trauma tanks that'll buck up to a butterfly. In a zoo, it's a 2-ton Labrador with the personality of a lapdog. And they put the zoo in zoomies. Turkey vultures are
That's
unironically
cute.
like precocious toddlers that'll follow their favorite keeper around and play games with them. And cheetahs might just be the most people-proof predator of them all. In fact, almost too much for their own good. Cheetahs get treated like the doormat of the savannah, and their life doesn't become a cakewalk in captivity. Oftentimes, the overgrown house cat is too anxious to even think about making more cheetahs. So, some cheetahs get emotional support dogs. So the dogs are assigned to the cheetahs as
Cheetahs get emotional support dogs? That is the cutest shit ever. A cheetah with a Labrador?
cubs, and the idea is they become a bonded pair, with the cheetah seeing Fido as a role model to mirror and take social cues from. It's literal emotional support, because if the introvert cat sees that the dog isn't stressed or pressed, it allows them to chill out, or at least enough to motivate them to multiply without a calculator. And to make it even more wholesome, a lot of zoos like the one in San Diego will use dogs rescued from kill shelters. Definitely one of the top 5 animal friendships. And it's not even the only one in San Diego. This is Zari the zebra, also from the San Diego Zoo, and this is her best friend Sophia. You see, Zari doesn't just live there, she's one of the ambassadors for the zoo, spreading smiles and awareness. But I'm also guessing you can't really have your ambassador around other zebras, cause let's just say that might not be the best influence. So in comes
Started
Sophia,
yelling.
a miniature Mediterranean donkey and Zari's roommate and best friend. To say they're inseparable would be a massive understatement. And while I can't exactly tell you who's influencing
A zebra
who,
and a
just know
donkey are
Zari and
best
Sophia
friends?
give
That
any
is so
cheetah dog
cute.
duo a run for their money. Now, speaking of role models, have you seen this video of a panda struggling to break bamboo? Well, that's Meng and he's not struggling. The story goes, he was hand-raised by humans his entire life, and while a
What?
250-pound bear might have no problem snapping sticks, a weaker human will.
Yes,
So
of
apparently
course.
Years of watching his surrogates get humbled by a bamboo somehow taught him that that face is necessary to break it. You can even find videos where he breaks it, starts eating, realizes he forgot to struggle just to grimace and continue. Pandas are a lot of things, and apparently good at Simon
pandas
says
are
is
smart.
one of them. They're also
So
by
they're
far
copying
the
us.
most expensive animal you'll see in a zoo.
So
Any
why get a
American
line
zoo
when you
that
have a
wants
cheetah?
panda will have to
True.
pay a small annual leasing fee of up to $1 million, along with
Wait,
$600,000.
what?
The most expensive animal you'll see in a zoo. Any American zoo that wants a panda will have to pay a small annual lease.
Any American zoo that wants a panda got to spend a million?
Fee of up to $1 million, along with
Maintenance?
$600,000 for every cub born there. Add the millions to build their
Man, fuck that shit. We're not having pandas in the zoo. That's ridiculous.
enclosures and the thousands spent feeding them, and the black and white bamboo bear is about 5 times more expensive than second place. And that's literally the biggest thing alive.
You said they're
legs.
endangered?
And best
Oh,
believe
true.
They know it. You might never meet a more high maintenance mammal. In 2014, the Chengdu research base set up a live stream so viewers could watch expecting mother oh, these names are killing me. Ai Hin bring another panda into the world. It was then canceled after it was discovered she had faked her pregnancy. Somehow the same animal that got its brain nerfed by nature figured out that if they can play pregnant even after the hormones wear off, they can finesse preferential treatment. And they're not wrong, any future mother pandas are moved to a single with
They lied!
clock care and more fruits and bamboo. Quite frankly, I don't blame the bears for working smarter. But it gets even crazier. Did you know pandas can be bougie? Mei Lun and Mei Hun were two pandas born and raised in the Atlanta Zoo, but were sent back to China in 2013. The only problem? They refused to eat any traditional Chinese meals, only American. They were not rocking with the Wawatao. They wanted biscuits and cookies. And pandas aren't even the only ones to pull some stuff like this. Japan's Akone-en was used to feeding their residents aji, or Japanese horse mackerel. But thanks to inflation, they decided to cut costs by switching to a cheaper alternative, Saba. And wouldn't you know, the penguin with king in its name was not
damn, he said fuck that shit. Where the other stuff?
Refused to substitute. You see, that's the part of zookeeping they don't tell you. All that time spent preparing fish, slaving away while the stench of your profession dents your social life, just for an uppity tuxedo chicken to choose hunger strike. Man, you know they don't get paid enough for that. Literally, the only compromise was mixing the cheap fish with the aji. As you can see, some animals are way more high maintenance than others, but some are too difficult to even exist in zoos. Think about it. Think of all the zoos.
Damn, it gets to a point though where you're like, bro, we got no more of this food that they like. Now we have the other food. At that point, you're just gonna have to look at the penguin and be like, bitch, you're gonna be hungry eventually. You denying this shit now, but eventually you're gonna be so hungry to the point where you're gonna say, fuck it, just give me the damn fish. And you're gonna eat this nasty ass fish, all right? So make a choice.
Zoos you've ever been to and try to see if you can come up with any notable absences. Okay, time's up. When's the last time you saw a moose in a zoo? For a lot of y'all, including
I'm like, is that moose running on water?
You've probably seen bison, bears, bobcats, cougars. Y'all know I could speak on wolves, but no moose. Why? Moose have specific diets. They're built like a tank and of course eat like one.
Yo,
really,
mooses are huge.
Right. They can still pass tense in a few years. And apparently feeding an antler warrior that can't even survive a president's term is a bad investment. So are leopard seals. You'll likely never see the op of happy feet in the zoo. Narwhals can literally die of social anxiety, so they're out. Tarsiers sometimes seppuku themselves in captivity, so that's a no-go.
Really?
And they say dietary restrictions are why proboscis monkeys are rare in zoos.
Yo, those monkeys, they got the Squidward nose and them shits are like inflatable. Ugly.
I call bull shark. It's definitely because Schnazi might be the most inappropriate animal to take your kids to see. And yes, my head's here for a reason.
Oh, he a jerk off monkey. Man, his face says it all. He's the most inappropriate monkey to like bring your kids around. So he just whips his dick out and start beating his shit. He a spanker. He a public spanker. He annoys you.
I'm not about to catch an age restriction over an overexposed lipstick dispenser. Or they could just use fake animals, cause it's not like that hasn't happened before. In 1987, a zoo in China was exposed for painting a sun bear and presenting it as a panda. That's a sun bear, by the way. In 2018, a zoo in Cairo did the same, except they had a donkey and zebra face. 2013, and we're back in China, except this controversy.
They made a donkey in zebra face? They took a donkey and started painting him with stripes and said, that's crazy.
It was about their resident African lion. There's a lion. Did y'all even try?
That's a chow chow.
My favorite counterfeit creature story is...
These dogs are advertised as panda dogs. They're just dogs, okay? According to Chinese state media, the zoo confirmed it dyed the dog's fur to look like pandas to fill in the blank of not having actual pandas.
You know, if I took time out of my day and spent my hard-earned money to go see a panda and got this...
Give me my money. You said that's hella cute though? I don't care. Give me my money. I came here to see pandas and you painted some dogs to make them look like pandas. Fuck out of here. Give me my money.
I'd probably go and spend more. Man, they got pandas from Temu. I can't even be mad. So obviously people are usually happy to see animals at zoos, but you ever wonder how the animals feel? Well, someone did. And a study from Nottingham Trent and Harper Adams University studied over 250 animals in zoos to see how their behaviors changed around human company. Using hours of observation and research, they found that the animal most excited to see people at zoos, and I really hope this is true, were elephants. Elephants showed the most positive reactions to large groups of people, becoming more active, more playful, and overall seeming to have a better time when humans were around. The other people-happy animals included cheetahs, jaguars, penguins, grizzly bears, polar bears, a cow called a batang, servals, and black-tailed prairie dogs. And on the other side, the animals that seemed to like human company the least were hedgehogs, ostriches, marsupials like kangaroos, ungulates like giraffes and antelopes, and probably most random of all, the tuatara. aura. They have 3 eyes and apparently none of them want to see us. As for the rest, the vast majority of animals had no reaction. The study does raise an interesting question, and that's how the pandemic affected zoo animals. Believe it or not, some animals actually started to miss people. The worldwide panoramic left elephants confused and disappointed.
Bro, I can't believe I still think about the pandemic. We were really in a time frame where we had to take cotton swabs and shove that shit up our nasal cavity also and put it in a fucking thing just to see if, come on.
Birds like keas and
we
cockatoos
really lived
missed
through
the
that
attention,
shit.
And you even had apes like chimps actively looking for missing visitors. And while the shutdown gave us gems like penguins exploring empty aquariums or a sea lion getting introduced to a tegu, by far the best story to come out was what happened in a Japanese aquarium. You see, the eels in Tokyo Sumida Aquarium were used to people, but the pandemonium turned them back people shy, and those same eels would now hide in the sand whenever a worker or someone would walk past. The problem is, that made it almost impossible to check up on them and keep them healthy. The solution was the aquarium asked people to FaceTime their eels to refamiliarize them with people, like some exposure therapy. There was a legitimate time where you could have gone on a date with an antisocial eel, and the worldwide Panera brought a lot of bad, but this was definitely a bright spot. But now, zoos are back open, so here's some hacks to get the most out of your experience. Animals are going to be most active on cooler, cloudier days, and they usually peak as soon as the doors open. Also, you're going to want to aim for a random weekday, since the less crowded, the better.
True.
If you can be there the next overcast 10 a.m. on a Tuesday, I swear you'll see a different zoo. And if you're a cat person, you might want to wear some Calvin Klein. No, seriously, the Klein is a favorite for cats of all kinds, from cheetahs to cougars, from lions to leopards. In fact, researchers have caught wild jaguars on camera by dousing the trap in obsession for men. So next time you're at the zoo and end up in big cat country, go ahead and spritz some of the Klein and see what happens. But yeah, that's gonna do it for this video. I imagine I'm gonna get a couple comments disappointing to me for not blasting zoos for 15 minutes, that I can't possibly care about animals if I still go to them. Here's my take. I've always said that zoos are capable of a lot of good and a lot of bad, but a lot of them are an invaluable resource for conservation and awareness. And while I agree, there are some species that are just not built for zoos. A majority of them are there because they literally would be worse off in the wild. Przewalski's horse was basically halfway down the grave, but it was the work of zoos that helped bring them back from the brink.
Yeah, that's true. There's a lot of zoos that like take animals in, and you know, some animals are considered as like not extinct, that's stupid, endangered. So then they gotta take them in, and then, you know, to keep them in safer environments, because some of them are just ass at defending themselves, because then there could just be a predator that just eats all of them up. RIP to dodo birds.
Same thing with the California condor, and about a dozen more. And Sparathover zookeepers are overworked, underpaid, usually overqualified, and like I said, the smell isn't just something they leave at the office. Not all zoos are created equal, and it's at best lazy, and at worst almost dangerous to put them all in the same boat. But I'ma stop yapping, drink water, hug your mother, support your local zoo, just make sure it's accredited. Matter of fact, give a zookeeper a hug, who knows how much they need it. And I'ma see y'all in the next one.
That's true. Good video. I remember this guy used to upload a bunch of TikToks. How come I don't see him anymore?